Okay, today we are going to solve for slope. If you remember, our slope formula is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1, all divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. We use a skeleton when we're solving for slope, and our skeleton looks like this. M equals parentheses minus parentheses, all divided by parentheses minus parentheses. And all this is saying I'm taking out y sub 2 and y sub 1 and replacing them with parentheses, and x sub 2 and x sub 1 and replacing them with parentheses. I take out those variables because I'm going to plug numbers into the parentheses in their place. So let's look at example 1. Example 1, I have the two ordered pairs, -5, 3, and 2, 6. I'm going to label my ordered pairs, x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. And I'm going to plug these values into my skeleton. So my first step is to actually write down the skeleton. And then I know from my formula that y sub 2 comes first. My y sub 2 value is 6, so that'll go in my first set of parentheses. Then y sub 1 comes second on top, so my y sub 1 value is 3. That'll go in the second set of parentheses on top. Then I have x sub 2 first on bottom, which is a 2. And x sub 1 second on the bottom, which is -5. Then I'm going to do some simple math. 6 minus 3 is 3. And then I have 2 minus a -5. And we've learned in the past that anytime you have minus a negative, that simply becomes addition. So we can make that a big plus sign. And I have 2 plus 5, which is 7. Now I cannot reduce this fraction, so I'll leave it as is, as the fraction 3 over 7. This is my slope. My slope is 3 over 7. Then we'll do another example, example 2. Example 2, I have the ordered pair 1, 1, and another ordered pair 4, 7. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did above. I'm going to start by labeling my ordered pairs. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. I'm going to write my skeleton first. M equals and I'm going to plug in my values. So to go in the very first top set of parentheses, I have my y sub 2, which is 7. And the second one on the top is my y sub 1, which is 1. Then on the bottom, I have my x sub 2, which is 4. And then my x sub 1, which is also 1. Then I'm going to do that simple math. 7 minus 1. Well, that's simply going to be 6. And then I have 4 minus 1, which is 3. In this case, this fraction can be reduced because 3 does go into 6. And I have 6 divided by 3, which is 2. So my slope in this case is 2. Okay, we're going to do one more example. Example 3. I have the ordered pair 2, 3, and the ordered pair -2, -3. I'm simply going to label them, just like I've done on the other two. X sub 1, y sub 1. X sub 2, y sub 2. I'm going to write my skeleton. and I'm going to plug in my values. So I know the 2's come first, so I'm going to have y sub 2 on top and x sub 2 on bottom. Then my 1's come second, y sub 1 on top, x sub 1 on bottom. Now I have negative 3 minus 3, which is like saying negative 3 plus negative 3. And if I add two negatives together, I'm going to carry the sign and add the terms. So 3 plus 3 is 6. Then I have negative 2 minus 2, which is the same thing as saying negative 2 plus a negative 2, which is going to give me negative 4. Then I notice that I can reduce this fraction. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And 6 and 4 are both divisible by 2. So I get the slope of 3 halves.